Napoleon Bonaparte did not conquer Europe with steel alone. He also used signatures, sealing wax, and ledgers. Behind the roar of cannons were accountants, notaries, bankers, and clerks, people who managed numbers as generals commanded troops. The image we see is of a military genius. The reality was that he rebuilt France's financial system. A state can temporarily defeat its enemies, but to truly leave them behind, it must be financially superior. By the end of the 18th century, France was a state collapsed under debt and corruption. The revolution destroyed political structures but did not erase arithmetic. Assignats, paper money supposedly backed by church lands, were a short-term solution but quickly turned into runaway inflation. In 1799, as first consul, Napoleon decided to restore credibility. He first had to command the currency. In 1800, he established the Banque de France. Private investors provided capital. The state ensured oversight. The bank stabilized payments, limited banknote issuance, and restored market confidence. He disciplined the treasury, centralizing cash flows under Nicolas François Moulin and recording all expenditures. In 1803, the franc germinal was defined in fixed gold and silver weights, turning money into a pillar of social trust. He reformed the tax system. Land contributions, personal and movable wealth taxes, professional patents, and indirect duties ensured direct public revenue. Cadastral records were expanded. Audits relied on measurement, not bribery. The Court of Accounts became the nervous system of the financial state. With a solid financial foundation, Napoleon ran wars like a cash flow enterprise. Defeated states paid indemnities. Occupied regions covered their own costs. He sold Louisiana to secure cash, converted administrative chaos into taxable order, and modernized trade and finance. Yet all systems have fragility. In 1806, the Continental Blockade aimed to strangle Britain. Smuggling and neutral flags undermined the policy. Allies were forced. Britain adapted. Prices moved unpredictably. Napoleon increased customs and penalties in response. The lesson: politics cannot replace economics. The system obeys its own rules. The 1812 Russian campaign was both a military and financial disaster. Lost human capital, supplies, and horses were not only tragic but a decade-long burden on the treasury. The front could no longer self-finance. The center drained all resources. Still, his structure survived. Even after Paris fell, the banks and franc germinal remained, giving France a financial backbone. Napoleon did not merely conquer Europe. He standardized the nation. Law, money, and administration merged into a durable state engine. Modern leaders inherit his legacy: central banks, reliable currency, transparent tax systems, merit-based treasuries, and legal frameworks that underpin trust. No matter how brilliant a victory, if peace cannot pay for it, even the strongest state will fail. Systems sustained by continuous external income, indemnities, coerced resources, or today's growth-justified deficits create dependency. When shock revenues disappear, the system collapses. Today's economy softens shocks through fiat money and instant debt markets, but the illusion of permanence is seductive. History teaches that financial literacy is citizenship. Trustworthy money, transparent taxes, and predictable law are the foundation of lasting prosperity. Napoleon's legacy demonstrates that power and money are intertwined, and disciplined systems endure beyond victory. The harmony between map and ledger revealed his unstoppable force. When the reality of accounts was ignored, Defeat was inevitable. Currency must be tangible, contracts enforceable, wages meaningful, and state promises credible. Taxes and audits are not just for revenue, they map economic reality and enable investment. Cadastres, canals, ports, and schools facilitated planned growth. Law was the oxygen of finance. Predictable courts secured cash flows, yet vulnerabilities always existed. The Continental Blockade and revenue-dependent strategic finance assumed future victories, creating risk. The Russian campaign broke the cash cycle, and even Napoleon's genius could not override arithmetic. Today, the principles of Napoleon's financial state remain relevant. A central bank working with private channels, reliable currency, transparent taxation, and legal certainty are the foundations of sustainable prosperity. Wars or extraordinary revenues cannot replace the system. Discipline, structure, and trust are the only long-lasting solution.